Mexico has one of the richest histories in Latin America. Way before the Spanish conquered the region, it was already populated by magnificent peoples with amazing culture. One of the many things that have lasted until modern times is their language. Let's take a look at some of the most prominent indigenous languages still spoken in Mexico today. Let's go! In 1999, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization proclaimed February 21st to commemorate the International Mother Language Day. And it is that, in the world, there are about 7,000 languages, of which almost 50% are in danger of disappearing. Mexico has 69 national languages, of which 68 indigenous ones, and Spanish, which is why it is among the first 10 nations with the most native languages and ranks second with its characteristics in Latin America, right after Brazil. It is estimated that more than 7 million Mexicans speak some indigenous language, in which the following stand out: Nahuatl, Mayan, Otomi, Mixtec, Zapotec, Totonac, Chol, and Mazatec. But there are also others that are less talked about and little by little are disappearing. For Mexico, each culture and each language is an important treasure to preserve, as it is for all of humanity. Without the indigenous peoples, the Mexico we know today wouldn't exist. Here, we mention the most widely spoken, although without downplaying the importance of the other languages. Nahuatl. This beautiful language is one of the oldest and best known, since it has existed from the beginning at least of the 5th century, covering all of Mesoamerica. Nahuatl is currently spoken in many cities and states in Mexico, such as Puebla, the land of the volcanoes, and a great World Heritage Site. Here, it is very common to hear this dialect in the streets of the historic center and its colonial temples. Another destination is Oaxaca. Here you can find Nahuatl, especially in the artisanal and cultural areas, such as in the textile factories and artisan shops, as well as in its Santo Domingo Cultural Center, where you will find its old Dominican order convent. Maya. The Mayan language is one of the oldest, although it is not known exactly when it originated. But it is estimated that in the pre-classic period, this indigenous language was already well known and spoken. In our time, and for years, this dialect can be found in the Yucatan Peninsula. In Quintana Roo, the Mayan roots are present for centuries since its magical towns are there and still the population that speaks this dialect. Campeche also protects this admirable language. In this beautiful and architectural place, known for being the only walled city, the Mayan communities are present in every corner, and you can hear it especially in areas of the historic center and in the parishes and temples, such as the San Francisquito Church. About 860,000 people in Mexico speak the Mayan language, second in the country after Nahuatl. Otomi. The Otomi language is another Mesoamerican language. This is the 7th most spoken language in Mexico, and historical sources say that it began to be used in some states in the 16th century, although it is not possible to know if it was as we know it now. Being one of the popular ones, Otomi can be found in the state of Guanajuato, especially in its small towns such as Cieneguilla and the neighboring community of Tierra Blanca. In the state of Mexico is Temoaya, the homeland of the Otomi people. This small rural town is unique for its great Otomi roots, as it has the largest number of speakers of this language, who are considered the first light of dawn in our history. Here is the ceremonial center Otomi. Although it is centuries old, it is still used for beautiful rituals of this tradition. Mexico has great cultural diversity, but its indigenous communities are the ones that have seen the country grow and have been a part of this beautiful, wonderful variety of cultures. These cultures every day teach us what the New World once was. Indigenous languages are the meaning of harmony and diversity, something that this country should never lose. In our country, there are almost 7 million speakers of some indigenous language, and more than 25 million Mexicans recognize themselves as indigenous, most of whom are located in the southeast of the country, where the largest population speaking these languages is recorded. And there you have it. The wonders of modern Mexico would be very different without its rich indigenous background. Do you speak any indigenous tongues? Or know anyone that does? Let us know in the comments below. My name is Juan Carlos, this was Feedback Learnex, and I'll see you next week.